Let's talk about these Gen 10 starters. With the announcement of Pokemon Winds and Waves, these starters were announced as well, and they've been with us for a few months. And I think this starter group is a very strong starter group. I'll be honest, when they first were announced, I was kind of like, ugh, it took me a little bit to kind of get used to them, but they're here now. They've been with us for a while, and I've definitely warmed up to them. So I think they're great as a group, and I'm really excited to see what they evolve into. So let's start things off with Brout. So Brout is the Beanchick Pokemon. It is pure grass type, and it has the ability Overgrow. All these starters have the typical Overgrow, Blaze, Torrent ability. So Brout, this Pokemon runs about energetically while photosynthesizing using the leaves on its brow. It's lively, but it can also be a bit clumsy. So this is very interesting. Each of these starter Pokemon have a little bit of information here that kind of describes their personality. I really do admire this. Brout is super adorable. I love Brout. I'll get more into it, but recently I've really fallen in love with Brout, and shout out to AJ from Redirect. He said that Brout reminds him of Rock Lee from Naruto. I'm a huge Naruto fan, and like Rock Lee's my favorite character, so ever since he said that, I can't unsee that, and like this thing looks like Rock Lee. Like this is just super dope, and like like the bushy brows, like this thing is just super dope. So I'm really excited to see what Brout evolves into. I love, the clumsiness too. Like, again, personality. I've talked about this in my other videos, but like personality and expression, like when that is in a Pokemon, especially in a Pokemon's design, you can kind of like see that. I really have such a huge appreciation for that. So yeah, Brout is super adorable. Very interesting that they gave it pure grass type and not the grass flying type. To me, that leads me to believe that these starter Pokemon will get secondary typings. Now some people are saying, well, it's a chick. Chicks can't fly, but like Pokemon has given the flying type to like all bird Pokemon. So having Brow be pure grass, I think it's gonna evolve into something that's like not grass flying, but like rather maybe grass fighting, grass dark. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, Brow is super dope. Like I love this thing. Next up, we have Pombon. Pombon, the puppy Pokemon. The area below its throat glows faintly from the heat-generating organ within its lungs. This Pokemon is gillless and friendly. So Pombon, the pure fire type. So Pombon is based off of Pomeranian. This is the fan favorite from what I've seen. Everyone, like when this was revealed, everyone was like going crazy. Pombon is super adorable. I will be honest, me personally, it's my least favorite of the three. I do like dogs. Pomeranians are not really my vibe of dogs, but Pombon is super adorable. And I will say, I think out of all the starter Pokemon, I think Pombon has the most potential to evolve into something very like over the top. I've seen people. Let me pull up some art. I've seen people but like predict that Pombon's evolution will be starters will be something along the lines of the Gen 2 Firestarter beta. So this right here, this is what I've So yeah, this is the Gen 2 like Firestarter beta, and people are predicting that Pombon might evolve into something of this direction. Which, if that's the case, like Pombon might be my pick. I pick starters based off of Final Evolutions, and like this thing reminds me of like Flareon. I love Flareon. So if Pombon evolves into something that's similar to the Gen 2 like Firestarter beta, I might be something with Pombon. Yeah, but Pombon is here. Its ability is Blaze. I love these snapshots. You see Pombon here is like inside like what looks like a volcano. Brout is kind of like in a forest, like greenery, like landscape type thing. So I like how like the snapshots here kind of go with the typing. But Pombon is here, and then last up we have Gekwa, the water gecko Pokemon. You know, pure water type, the ability Torrent. Gekwa, this Pokemon launches springy balls of water from its tail. Gekwa is very intelligent and maneuvers shrewdly while putting on airs. And this is very interesting. You know, it's like, what is this supposed to mean? Is it going to be like a flying type? Does it have like Air Jordans? Like, what is this supposed to indicate? So Gekwa is here. Gekwa was my initial, like when I first saw the reveal trailer, Gekwa was my initial pick. I was like, this thing is super dope. But recently I've kind of fallen more in love with Brout. And Gekwa is still super cool. I will be honest, its eyes are cool, but they're a little too big for my liking. I mean, it's not bad, but for me it's like, you know, what direction will the evolutions go with its eyes? It's kind of, you know, it gives me a little questions there. I do love the color. It's like a crystal ball like type color. You know, this thing kind of gives me very like psychic type vibes. Like, you know, I think that's what people are predicting. This thing might evolve into like a water psychic Pokemon. You know, we'll see. It's super cool though. Like, you know, I love Sobble and Froakie. I love like reptilian, like water types. So like Gekwa falls right in line with that. So I'm excited, you know, to see what Gekwa evolves into. But this right here too, like putting on airs, like I really wonder what that is referring to. You know, is it going to be a flying type, like water flying? Which if that's the case, like I'm really interested to see like how that's implemented in the design. But yeah, overall these starter Pokemon are really good. You know, I'm between picking Brout and Gekwa. I'm really like split between them. Again, like my pick is going to be based off the final evolutions. You know, if any of them, you know, if Pombon has like the best final evolution, or, you know, Gekwa or whoever, I'm going to pick them. That's how I go off starter evolutions. Typing, my predictions for final typings, I think Brout will be either Grass Fighting or Grass Dark. Now I know Grass Dark is kind of like, you know, we just came off of Paldea and Meowscarada, so Grass Dark would kind of be redundant in a way, but I think Brout is more maybe likely to have like Grass Fighting. You know, again, like Brout reminds me of Rock Lee, so I actually wouldn't be mad at that. You know, give it a fighting type, you know, straight Taijutsu. Pombon, everyone really wants Pombon to be a fairy type, fire fairy. We've never had that before. I would actually think that's super dope. Like, I definitely see the fairy typing that, you know, I can see the fairy typing being implemented into Pombon. The thing on its head, you know, people are saying it's like a paintbrush or something, but that could kind of be the direction of Pombon's evolution. I definitely do see it being like a paintbrush, which would be super dope if it, you know, it's kind of like an artist or something. You know, it kind of evolves in the direction of like a creative, you know, kind of like Smeargle, how Smeargle is, you know, very like artsy, you know, it's a painter. You know, Smeargle's a painter, so it'd be cool if like Pombon kind of evolves similarly how like Smeargle has its like sort of artistry like displayed in its design. You know, don't make it bipedal, make it all fours. That's my thing with Pokemon. They like to make starter Pokemon bipedal and humanoid. I don't want that. Make Pombon a giant. I mean, all these starters, make them all like, you know, like animal beasts. You know what I'm saying? Like not like humanoid Pokemon. But yeah, Fire Fairy. I think Pombon has a good chance of being Fire Fairy. Again, it's never been done before, and this is a great opportunity to have like our first Fire Fairy type be a starter Pokemon. So that's super dope. And then for Gekwa, I'm thinking either Water Dark or Water Psychic. I'm leaning more towards Water Psychic because it gives me psychic vibes. Again, its eyes are like crystal balls and it just gives me that psychic, you know, type energy. That'd be super cool, you know, Water Psychic, you know, throwback to Starmie, Slowbro, you know, all the OGs. So that'd be super cool. But anyways, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about, these Gen 10 starters. I'm really excited for Pokemon Winds and Waves, and I'm really excited to see what these starters evolve into. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.